Hey guys, Madison here, back for another Film Friday, and this week I am so excited to be back doing my Western of the month because I did not have a Western last month with it being Madtober and me watching scary movies all month, so I'm so excited to finally be back to my monthly tradition, and this month I am watching Young Guns 2. A couple of months ago, I watched the first Young Guns here on my channel and I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. Like I said, I am a big fan of the Billy the Kid story and I love watching as many adaptations of it as I can. So I really enjoyed it and I am excited to see what they do with the sequel. Because in the first movie, they wrapped it up with wrapping up Billy the Kid's story and saying like, he's dead now and here's what's on the tombstone. But then they decided to do a sequel, so I am excited to see their take on the later chapters of his life and what happened after the Lincoln County War and where he went after that. I'm excited to see their version, their adaptation of that, because they were surprisingly historically accurate with a lot of stuff in the first movie. And of course, there's some fictional elements, there's always going to be that. But I'm excited to see their take on the rest of his story and how it turns out, how it ends up, because there's a lot of folklore that surrounds the demise or maybe not the demise of Billy the Kid, so I'm excited to see this adaptation. And I really enjoyed the cast in the first movie, and I'm glad that most of them are back for this movie. I did see the cast of this movie, and I was like, yes, I'm so excited to see these guys back and see them the gang back together. But without further ado, guys, I'm just really excited to check out this movie. So let's jump in and let's check out Young Guns 2. Ooh, I like this. Classic Western soundtrack instead of the 80s synth music we had in the last one. Viggo Mortensen, what? He keeps randomly popping up in movies that I have no idea he's in. And John Bon Jovi. Okay, Alan Silvestri. This is going to be epic. I'm ready. Whoa, what? What year are we in? What is happening? Is this like a flash forward?
Mr. Roberts? Charles Phelan, sir. Stackpole, McPhee, Lassiter, and Phelan. Attorneys at law.
Is this like old Billy the Kid who has survived?
What is it I can do for you, sir?
I want to go before the governor. I want to be pardoned for the killing of 21 men. I was promised a pardon, and you tell him that you're bringing in Rushy Bill Roberts, alias Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid was shot and killed by Pat Garrett. Can you show me some evidence? You have any scars?
Yep, they're going with the Billy the Kid survived story. I can roll with that. I tend to lean that way myself. I'll talk about it more in my review.
That's him. I figured he'd get at least 100 dobies for his trigger finger.
Boom.
Wait, do I know you? What's your name?
Travers.
No.
Oh.
Why you just didn't want to hide out up in the canyons? Don't make sense. God gave a mule. I don't know.
Look out. Did Billy just get shot too? Yep, right in the leg.
Should we give him a proper burial?
I see they're continuing with the psychopathic portrayal of Billy.
Friday?
Whoa, is he like a teacher now? Cleaned up his life? Uh-oh.
Don't move.
Oh no. Did he get arrested? Fort Sumner. That's the place.
How you doing, Beaver?
Militia's been through, and the cavalry, and they keep on coming. When you was in the Guadalupe, they sent in a new governor to clean up. He's going through the territory like the pox, running everybody who fired a shot in the Lincoln War. They're fixing to do a big exterminating. You're on the top of their hanging list.
He just ripped the whole paper. That was pretty impressive.
I'd like some frioles. And some coffee. Please.
Rude.
Get out of here, boy! Come in on the orphan train, eating out of my ash cans.
Come over here. You know who I am?
Yes.
That kid looks familiar.
So what do you want?
I want to ride the trail with Billy the Kid, Prince of Pistoliers.
Hey, Beaver! Hey, Beaver, did you hear that? Prince of Pistoliers. You want to ride with Billy the Kid? You want to get leg shot in your leg like this? Huh? Everybody in the territory trying to take a shot at you. Boom, boom, boom! Is that what you want?
Hopefully not.
Yeah! And stay the hell out!
Poor kid. Billy should relate to him a little bit. Meanwhile, things aren't looking too good for this guy. What's his name? I know it's Kiefer Sutherland, but I cannot remember the character's name. Totally just slipped my mind.
Got a few of your friends waiting for you.
You've been delivered into me hands.
Yes!
You look good.
What about a drink, Doc?
What?
Child, where the hell is he?
Messenger came through town today from the new governor. He wants you to turn state's evidence and testify against the Murphy boys he's got in that pit in Lincoln. It's the only chance you got to save your neck. You got no place left to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Buenos dias, señor.
My goodness. Ah! Gosh, I love this soundtrack. Delicious.
Ride in the casino.
There he goes.
Go, Billy!
How did that kid get up there?
He's here. Show him in.
Why is he like sniffing his drink? Does he think somebody poisoned it?
Mr. Bonney, I appreciate your good faith. The various crimes committed during the Lincoln Cattle War.
It was a merchant war. Irish against English. It killed my employer, Mr. Tunstall.
Yep.
My terms are simple. Your testimony against those who murdered your employer.
In exchange for a full pardon. If not, I ride out of Lincoln now. And your boys try to follow me, you wind up in a pine box.
He did not come to negotiate. He came to accept that governor's surrender.
You would leave New Mexico, never to return.
We all know that ain't gonna happen.
So we'll arrest you. Staged arrest for your own protection before the trial.
Can I have some of that cake?
The left hand, I love it. Lefties unite. We're a rare breed, only like 10% of the population.
Don't worry too much. When you die, you're gonna see the spirit horse. She'll come for you, my friend.
I don't really want to catch a spirit horse. I don't even want to see the other side. The only thing I really want to do is get the hell out of here.
Me too.
Splendid performance.
Show off.
3 candles left and only 2 bullets.
The governor thinks it's best if you have your restraints on.
Bring that fiddle player in again. He was quite good. How about some more of that cake when you get a chance?
Top of the morning to you, Mr. Bonney. Finally in chains, are you?
Billy the Kid never stays in chains for long.
Governor's on his way back to Santa Fe now. Pardon Billy the Kid. Impossible.
Is this the courthouse he escapes from? It looks like it.
I had small hands, big wrists.
Yep.
You boys hungry? I'll give you the bad news first. All we got for supper's horse shit.
What the hell's the good news?
There's tons of it.
The world hates a smart mouth, Skurlock. You're gonna realize that tomorrow when you swing from them gallows. That's if the lynch mob don't come for you first, which I hear tell they intend to do. Let me know if you boys want some dessert.
Ugh.
Howdy, you're a bit late. Kid's escaped. We got some of his regulators in there, Indian and Tenderfoot. They'll have to do, bring them up.
Pick your tree, Breed.
Stop! I order you as a peace officer of Lincoln County.
What a piece of garbage, lawman.
I was a school teacher from the city of New York.
I'm a school teacher from the city of New York!
Howdy, Doc.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, let's get out.
Is that the real lynch mob?
It's the real lynch mob!
They just ripped that hitching post right out of the ground.
Where'd they go? I don't know. They went over that way.
Now that lawman really looks like a fool. Oh.
I think we got him.
Chaos and mayhem.
Come on!
My goodness. That was a fun sequence. I enjoyed that. I really like the new theme song that Alan Silvestri did for this one. It has some of the same vibes as the first Young Guns, but it's different. I love it.
We made a pact, remember? You, me, and Chirevas. Pals.
I don't care if you guys swap, spittle, and piss in each other's boots. I don't take to tenderfoots in my gang. I definitely don't take to no Mexican.
Mexican Indian, you son of a bitch.
Remember something, Dave? These boys are the Lincoln County regulators.
Were. Billy, come on, the chain.
I'm taking the Mexican Blackbird. The broken trail will go down to Old Mexico. Only me and a few other boys know it. Once you're down there, got these basket men. They'll come up and they'll get your belongings, your family, whatever you need.
Why don't you just shoot the chain, okay?
Okay, but the back roll was so unnecessary. Could have made him miss.
It's for you. It's for the horse.
That horse ain't for sale, Doc. How about my boots? They're nice and broken.
I know you, you son of a bitch!
Well, I know you, Skurlock. I saw you kill.
You remember John Tunstall? Remember the story he used to tell us about the three Chinamen playing Fan-Tan? Someone runs up to him and says, hey, the world is coming to an end. And the first one says, well, I best go to the mission and pray. And the second one says, well, hell, I'm gonna go buy me a case of mezcal and 6 whores. And the third one says, well, I shall finish the game. I shall finish the game, Doc.
They'll catch you, Doc. Catch me.
Chavez, I can't ride with him anymore. It's over.
When the spirit horse comes, then it's over.
But although him and me were like brothers, he really wanted to ride with me. He just needed some time to think about it.
Oh, no.
Oh man, the old-fashioned way. Stand them up in the coffin. It was so morbid how they used to just take pictures of the dead people in the coffins, parade them around in the streets.
Where are the men you promised us? You said you had an army.
Here it comes. Just one, and that's all you can find.
No one want to come? Everyone afraid.
My name's Henry William French.
You ever shoot anybody before, Henry William French?
You ever shoot anything before?
Sage hen.
Sage hen.
Yikes. Another guy to hold a gun, but we'll see if he's useful at all.
John Simpson Chisholm was the richest man in the territory. Old John admired my pluck and loved me like I was his own son.
You really turned out to be a snake, Billy.
I'm just trying to get my friends to Old Mexico. We need some pesos. And I figure that you owe us, Mr. Chisholm. $250 for the fighting we did last year, and $250 for me leaving your stock alone.
Everything all right, Mr. Chisholm?
Everything's fine.
Yoo-hoo! I'll make you famous. Which one of these boys is the fastest with the iron?
That'd be me.
You. Drop Sam Colt. Put her down now. You owe me $500, Mr. Chisholm. So what I'm gonna do is kill one of your men for every $5 you owe me.
Oh no.
How's that for square? Now, when I go for my guns, you start shooting. Ready?
Yeah.
Dave. 495. Henry. Oh, money! 490.
You call yourself the scourge of New Mexico? Well, by God, I am New Mexico.
I am the Senate.
I wouldn't give a bucket of piss for your future. You have yourself a good day now.
Oh my goodness. What a piece of work.
Let's hire a thief to catch one. Well, bring him in, Governor.
Yep. We all knew this was coming.
Now, Pat, we know that you've been with Billy Bonnie several times when you cut my herd. Now, Pat, we're looking for somebody who knows his haunts.
That was Viggo Mortensen. Oh my gosh. He's a tea-drinking dandy.
We need a sheriff who can eliminate this particular problem.
Sheriff Pat Garrett.
$500. up front. And 500 after.
You're called Kid, and Rudabout's called Arkansas Dave.
Want a name. You have to earn it, Henry. Till then, you're stuck with plain old Henry.
Poor guy. Oh, Pat's all fancy now.
I want to hire you for a job. I want you to document the hunt for the most famous man in New Mexico.
I'm a journalist.
You're a broke journalist.
The country was overgrown with weed and brush, making it almost impassable.
I like that. That's very good.
Morning, Sheriff. We met at the governor's. Governor sent me and his men to lend you a hand.
Encumbered by idiots, we pressed on.
Got a new sheriff on us, boys. Goes by the name of Pat Garrett.
What the hell did he do that for?
Just playing the game, Doc. We'll give him a game, all right.
Let's get out, come on. Come on.
Come on.
They ain't following you, bud. They're following Billy.
Burial ground. Warm Springs people.
Yeah, probably should not ride through there.
We'll go around.
Chirevas, why don't you go peck shit with the chickens, huh?
Jeremiah Johnson taught me that this will not end well.
You get 50 cents for a good Indian leg bone.
You go in there, smart gringo, and I'll bury you there.
He will, Dave. Don't do it.
Oh.
I don't like this guy. Chavez, just shoot him. Come on, Chavez. Teach him a lesson. Ah, the old sand trick. Ah. Oh my gosh, that knife is going all the way through his arm.
You want your knife back?
Yeah. And we were going around that cemetery, I promise you.
Oh, all the way through the arm. It's gonna be a miracle if he doesn't die from gangrene or something.
Tobacco pouch. It's his. I gave it to him.
Why'd you leave it hanging there like that?
Just to say hello.
Looks like he's saying more than hello.
What scum? Politicians, bankers, cattle kings.
I mean, he's not wrong. The corrupt politicians and businessmen are just as bad as the outlaws. They hide it. The outlaws are open about it, and the politicians and the businessmen hide it.
Oh, well, I'll be hog-tied and sent to Hades. Billy! 4, 5, 6.
On the bear.
This whole town, outside too. Same White Oaks.
Yeah, well, there's 2,011 souls in this town, kid. A lot of back east money. Town's different. It's respectable.
Doesn't look so respectable.
We're going north.
South, you mean?
You ever hear of a coy dog, Poe? Half common dog, half coyote. Feed one, he keeps coming around, no fear of man. Kid's a coy dog. He's come 150 miles without a town. Right about now, he's looking for some attention.
I'm just loving that Viggo Mortensen is in this movie.
Donna, qui, T.A. Ala.
He speaks their language. I did not expect that from him. He does serve a purpose.
You come back now.
Kids, too young. Too young.
Look out the window, Billy!
Oh, goodness.
Help me gather the boys. Come on, get everyone downstairs.
What's going on down here?
To the kid, we have Jane Greathouse held out here. I'm coming in to talk to you. If anything happens to me, the citizens here say they will string her up and burn her.
We agree to those terms.
I'm a deputized man, and I do things the law way. Now, the people out there, they do things their own way. They got their mind set on a hanging. I understand you have an Indian in your group. If I can give this Indian to those people out there, they'll be well satisfied.
Oh my gosh. All I know is this is not going to end well for this deputy.
You obviously don't understand the meaning of the word pals. Think I'd hand my friend over to a bucket of mule dung like you?
All right, you white caps, we're coming out, but we're coming out shooting.
They didn't even know who they were shooting.
That's Deputy Carlisle. That's James Carlisle.
Oh my gosh.
They pinned that one on me too, but I never fired one shot.
Yeah, but you caused it, Billy.
Jane Greathouse, the citizens of White Oaks have proclaimed this place As sheriff of Lincoln County, I have to honor and protect their civic virtues.
Oh my gosh. Why?
White Oaks, you can kiss my ass.
I don't feel like she's making any kind of positive point with this demonstration. I feel like she's just proving them right.
Old timer, when this place boom up?
Last week.
Copper?
Yeah. Bad droppings.
Bad droppings.
It's Pat Garrett. Nice shot, Chavez. No matter what happens, I'm always rooting for Chavez. Always. Oh my gosh. Did their horses survive? Are the horses okay? No way one of them didn't like break a leg doing that. Oh, that horse is not okay. Chavez, you're too good, man. I wouldn't go back for him.
Sweet Mary's ass, how the hell did you get him to do that, huh? What's that mean anyway? I'd say.
It's an ancient Navajo word. It means stop.
Chavez always has the best one-liners.
It's Garrett. Get out, Tom.
Oh no. They just killed that kid. Such a waste.
Well, it's a start.
Vigo is heartless in this movie.
You know what the Mexican blackbird is?
It's a broken trail that leads to old Mexico.
It's a half-black, half-Mexican whore up in Puerto de Luna.
You made it up.
What about old Mexico you promised us? What about Tommy? You rode a 15-year-old boy straight into his grave, and the rest of us straight to hell. Bonnie, you are not a god.
Why don't you pull the trigger and find out?
I gotta get back home.
That was a good moment there.
Get up, Doc. Come on, get up. You leave him alone. He's a dead man.
I have never stuck my foot in my mouth faster.
Gotta make a break.
Dang it. Not Doc.
Billy!
Let's finish the game.
Did they hit Chavez? Chavez has to get away. Come on, come on. Henry! Oh. No! Not Chavez. He's not gonna make it, is he? He's been shot like 2 or 3 times already.
Now, do you have anything to say, young man?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. You can go to hell.
I got 18 dimes in each barrel, boy. You ever see what $1.80 can do to a $40 steer?
This is the courthouse escape I've been waiting on.
I want to talk to Garrett.
He's in Messiah. Got a big interview in a tin type with the Independent.
Yeah, it's all about the interviews. Dime novels. What's she doing here?
May I visit Mr. Bonnie? I'm an old acquaintance.
Well, Sheriff Garrett won't allow any visitations.
May I leave a gift for him then? Well, goodbye, William H. Bonnie.
I wouldn't go in there if I were you.
Yoo-hoo, Bill. I'll make you famous. Don't do it, Bill. Bill, come on, don't do it. I ain't kidding. Bill!
There it goes.
Oh, Bob! Best $1.80 I ever spent. Quit napping on the job, Bob!
Mexico here? Woohoo! I made it. Well, you do know who I am, don't you?
I don't think they care. And I don't think they know. Chirevas, you gotta get to a doctor before you bleed out. Can't believe you haven't already. Billy?
Buenos tardes, amigos. You should have seen the short work I made of Bob Ollinger.
I don't think they're in the mood, Billy.
We're skinning out. Make sure the horses are watered.
Billy, can you not tell they've been shot?
You stay here and Garrett will take you.
Garrett already took me.
That's a bad shot, Chirevas.
One of my favorites always die.
Ain't supposed to be you sitting there like that. It's supposed to be me. Chirevas.
Okay, but that was like one of the most manly deaths I've ever seen, honestly. Just walking it out. Walking out to the graveyard.
Buckshot George. It's a good name.
My name's Henry William French.
It's a good name, too.
Oh, the spirit horse. Dang it, Chirevas!
In the ice house, a fresh beef. Bring back here and I cook for you.
Here we go.
Let's finish the game.
I shot everything in the world except you, but you still wouldn't go below.
You killed the boys, Patsy!
No, Billy. You did. This hurts, kid. But I'm in a place I can't get out of. And I gotta do it.
You remember something, Pat? You'll never be me. You'll only be the man that shot Billy the Kid. Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista. You crazy son of a bitch.
Where's Billy? They sneak out.
Animam famuli tui, William. Ab omni vinculo delictorum.
Yeah, the funeral. The question is, whose body was in the coffin? Was there a body in the coffin? I think there was, if I remember right. But was it Billy's?
I never stole a horse from someone I didn't like. Did I like him? Hell no. I love the son of a bitch. You asked me if I have scars. I have my scars.
Bill, wait. Billy!
Beheaded. So I just had to sit here for a few minutes and listen to Bon Jovi's Blades of Glory in all its glory, because I don't think I've ever actually heard that song all the way through. Like, I feel like I've heard the Blades of Glory, like part of the chorus or something before, but I've never just sat and listened to the song, and I never knew that it was for this movie, and I think that's really cool. I think this movie had the same really unique, fun vibe with the music that the first one had. It didn't go full 80s synth soundtrack like in the first movie, but it had bits of it, like I talked about in the new theme that Alan Silvestri worked in there. A lot of it was more like traditional movie soundtrack, but that theme had echoes of the original theme in it. And I loved that so much. It felt like a nod to the first movie. God, I really enjoyed both of these. I really did. And talking about like whether or not Billy the Kid survived, it's a really interesting question. Like I talked about in my review of the first Young Guns, with Jesse James, it was really an open and shut case. Like, we know he died there in that house that day. It was, you know, DNA proven that was Jesse James who died. But with Billy the Kid, it was much more of a mystery as to whether it was actually Billy the Kid that got shot and killed or not. The whole thing is very sketchy. And yeah, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I'm one of those people who thinks that Billy the Kid did walk away that day, because there's just too much about it that is weird, or walked away that night, I should say. Because, and I like that they addressed it and incorporated it in this movie. Pat Garrett's prior association with Billy the Kid. He knew Billy the Kid. They had even kind of sort of been friends in the past. The whole way this thing went down was sketchy, and it was very much like Pat Garrett was kind of out for himself and wanted to be famous, but I loved that exchange between them of Billy saying, "You'll never be as big as me," basically. You'll always just be the man who shot Billy the Kid. And it's true. It's true that is what Pat Garrett is famous for, supposedly killing Billy the Kid. That's the only reason why he's famous. Otherwise, we wouldn't really talk about him. We wouldn't know who that was. A lot of us, unless you're like a history buff who studies that time period, most of us wouldn't even know who Pat Garrett is. It's kind of like Bob Ford killing Jesse James. That's the only reason why he's famous. That's the only reason we know his name, is because he killed an actual famous person. The irony of it all, that they want to make their own name and they want to be famous. They're envious of this fame that the Outlaws have, and so they take them out to try to be famous, but then everyone hates them because it's like, even though the Outlaws are outlaws, they were made into these like folk heroes and dime novels, and people kind of rooted for them in a way because they were sort of misconstrued as Robin Hoods and whatnot. And so they hated Bob Ford and Pat Garrett because they killed these famous figures. Now with Billy the Kid, I think Pat Garrett let him walk away. I really do. Took credit for killing him, but he didn't actually do it. And I don't know if Brushy Bill Roberts was Billy the Kid. I'm a little rusty on all of the facts of the story, but I remember back when I was really reading and researching all of it, I was not convinced. I was like, I don't know. He might just be somebody claiming to be Billy the Kid. I don't think we'll ever know what actually happened to Billy. I don't think we'll ever know for sure. Personally, I don't think he was Brushy Bill. I think he just rode off and disappeared, and who knows what alias he went under or how long he ended up living after that or what happened to him. But I think Pat Garrett might have said, like, given him an ultimatum, like, hey, this is it, bro, you need to disappear. And Billy disappeared and never surfaced again. I think maybe he just lived out his days farming or something. I don't know. But yeah, the whole situation with him and Pat Garrett is very fishy. There was never the solid confirmation with his death that there was with Jesse James. And so, yeah, I'm sure we all have our theories about what happened to him. And that's what makes it endlessly fascinating too, is that we don't know. And so that question is always there. Talking about Pat Garrett, I really liked their characterization of him in this movie of being a guy who did kind of crave that fame, and that was his motivation, and it was never really about the law, because I thought that was a pretty true characterization of Pat Garrett. I thought it was a lot more accurate than their characterization of Billy the Kid. Now, obviously, I was not there in the 1870s and 80s. I did not know Billy the Kid, but from all of the research and all of the stories, I got the impression that he did have that almost like playful jester kind of element to him, and he could be very cold. Don't get me wrong. Could be very cold and just shoot people sometimes. But I never got the impression that he was like a maniacal psychopath, which they really leaned into in these two movies, and I never got that impression about him. He always seemed a lot more human and just more likable and more empathetic as a figure than Jesse James was. Jesse James, a lot of people kind of give him a pass and say it was because of the Civil War and he was getting revenge against the Yankees because of how the South was treated and because of the personal consequences, the things that happened to his family, so on and so forth. And that would have made Jesse James a lot more empathetic figure if it was because of the Civil War and because of the grudges he held because of that. But I think that Jesse James, used that as a cover, kind of used that as a mask to hide and disguise his real intentions, which were all about himself and all about the money, which he always got and then spent. and wasted. I think he used that to try to get people on his side and to get people to empathize with him, and it was really just all about not wanting to have to settle down and live a normal life. It was easier to kill and steal and all of that. And so I always saw him as more of a villainous figure than Billy the Kid, who got kind of swept up in events because of the Lincoln County War and stuff and could never get a pardon. Not saying he was a good guy either, but it was a lot more complicated with him in terms of morality and was he bad or, did he have any good in him or that sort of thing. I feel like he tried to turn things around but was not allowed to, whereas Jesse James never got out. He was planning robberies till the day he died. And I think Billy the Kid was different. But who knows? A lot of this is conjecture. A lot of the facts that we have, do we know that they're really facts? It's a lot of the history gets muddled and blended with fiction. What's that famous line from the man who shot Liberty Valance? It's print the legend, right? And that's what happens a lot of times with these famous figures of the Old West. But back to talking about the movie and not just the history behind it all. I really enjoyed this one. It's hard to say which one I liked better, this one or the first one. One thing I did like even better in this movie was the soundtrack. I love Alan Silvestri's soundtracks. It automatically just elevates any movie that he does the score for. I really think the opening soundtrack was my favorite when old Billy the Kid first rides onto the scene, and it's that really cool oh, and there's I think it was a guitar or something that was it was so cool. I loved that. I think that was my favorite. And then closing out the credits with Blaze of Glory by Bon Jovi, peak. That was awesome. It was really sad seeing Doc die in this movie and Chirevas die in this movie. Everybody died in this movie. That was hard to watch, but it felt kind of inevitable with the way things were going with Billy and his gang, and Billy ends up alone. So that was kind of a fun part of these movies, the friends being added in there that we got to see hanging out with Billy, because we didn't really know what was going to happen to them. So that was a fun little curveball thrown in there. Having some fun extra character dynamics. They did the courthouse escape pretty accurately with the two guys that he shot, where he shot them. There are theories about him getting a gun out of the outhouse, and we wouldn't have known who put it there. Obviously that was a fictionalized thing thrown in of oh, this woman put it there, and really we don't know who would have put the gun in there, if that is where he got the gun from. But it's always interesting, again, to see the different adaptations and different spins on it. And then the ending encounter with Billy and Pat Garrett, I thought was written really well. Great tension. I was actually thinking during that scene how much more intense it would have been if they had not shown old Billy at the start of the movie. That's something I personally would have changed if I had made the movie, because it took all of the tension out of it. If you're a person sitting in the theater watching it back in 1990, if you do not see old Billy at the beginning, you are going into this thinking he's going to die and he's going to get killed by Pat Garrett, if you know anything about the history of it. And it would have been such an amazing twist if they had not revealed that until the end, that in this version Billy survives, because everyone would have been on the edge of their seats in the scene with him and Pat Garrett going, oh my gosh, he's about to get shot, and then he's gonna die, and then he survives, and you're like, what? And it would have been amazing. But yeah, I didn't like them spoiling that at the beginning, that was the direction they were going with it, because it sucked the tension out of it in terms of wondering if and when Billy's going to die. If you're a moviegoer and you don't know anything about Billy the Kid, you would have been nervous about him the whole time. But I feel like they assumed a lot of people going into this movie already know. And I think it would have been even more fun if they didn't assume that about the audience. Because yeah, there's going to be the history buffs in the audience that know, but a lot of people who don't. And so why take away that extra tension they would have had otherwise? So that's the big thing that I would have changed about the movie, is just taking out old Billy at the beginning and having it all at the end. And showing that he survived the encounter with Pat Garrett, because that was all I could think about during that scene with them. It was so good, but I was thinking, man, it would have been so intense if they hadn't shown that, and you would have been just waiting for Pat Garrett to pull the trigger. So yeah, that's my only big gripe with the movie. That's the only thing that I can think of that I would be like, yeah, I would have definitely changed that. But yeah, really fun watch again, really entertaining watch. I think Emilio Estevez was a really good Billy the Kid. I do. It's always so interesting seeing different guys play Billy the Kid and see what they bring to the role. And he was really enjoyable to watch. Some fun shootouts thrown in there, some vigilante lynch mobs, and oh my gosh, I just keep thinking about Chirevas and his death scene. Man, just that epic music coming in again as he's walking out and he's walking through the graveyard. It's just like, what a way to go, man. He gets shot 2 or 3 times and he survives, rides that whole way, and then just walks out like a boss. Chirevas, he was the man. Lou Diamond Phillips, I love him. But in the end, the spirit horse came, unfortunately. Did the spirit horse come for Billy that night, or did it pass him by? We may never know. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below. Did Billy the Kid survive that night, or did he get shot and killed by Pat Garrett? I want to hear all the conspiracy theories in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. And I hope you all enjoyed this reaction. Thank you so much to everyone who's been trying to get me to watch Young Guns for a long time. And now Young Guns 2. There were so many of you commenting on the first one, like, please watch the sequel. I hope you're happy. I've done it and I really enjoyed it. Another great Western in the books. Be sure to head on over to my Patreon, patreon.com/MadisonKTames. Link in the description below if you want to see the full-length reaction and if you want to watch my other full-length reactions as well. Thanks again, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and be sure to come back next week, aka next month, because it's going to be December, which means it is the holiday season here on my channel. I'll be watching Christmas-themed movies for the whole month of December. It's gonna be so much fun, and we're gonna be having all the holiday feels, so be sure to come back. Hit like on this video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't, and then you'll get notified about all of my brand new reactions that are coming. I love Christmas. I love the holiday season. It's gonna be a great time. So I hope to see you there, and thanks again, guys, for watching, and I will see you next week for another Film Friday. Bye, guys.